Okay, welcome to Third and 23, where I talk college and NFL betting picks and predictions. This video, I'm going to be talking about Thursday night, the opening Thursday night game of the college football season, Nebraska versus Cincinnati. Also on this channel, I do track my ATS record, so that way you can see if I'm full of it, if I'm doing well and you want to tell me, if I'm doing poorly and you want to just go against everything I'm going against and everything in between. Uh, Opened the season at 1-0 with Iowa State with a plus 3.5 over the weekend. So let's go ahead and get into it. Game notes here: Nebraska opened as a 6.5 point favorite. That's months ago. There has been absolutely no line movement. Could signify there's not really much interest in this game, at least not any betting interest in this game up to this point. Nebraska, Cincinnati, not really a needle mover. This game is going to be played at Arrowhead Stadium, so home of the Chiefs. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about placing a bet in this one. Looking at the four key matchups in this game, in my opinion, offense versus defense. In my opinion, the Nebraska pass offense has a significant edge over the Cincinnati pass defense. But let's go ahead and get more into these different levers and how I see things playing out. So we're talking about Nebraska. As I said, significant edge here. You have Dylan Raiola plus these portal transfer wide receivers. You got Dane Key and Nyziah Hunter transferring in, giving Nebraska legitimate pass catchers on the outside to go with Raiola's passing game, and I think he's about to make a big jump from his freshman to sophomore year. For Cincinnati to be able to hang around in this game, to be able to compete in this game, I think it's really going to be about their running game. They bring in Tawee Walker, running back from Wisconsin. He transfers in, and they have a good offensive line, or I should say, at least an experienced offensive line. So if they can control the clock, control the game against what is a new Nebraska front that's probably going to regress because they lost a lot of guys up front, that's going to be Cincinnati's best bet into succeeding in this game. So now let's deep dive into what I think the X factors, what are the two X factors in this game for both teams. Starting it off, Dylan Raiola, as I said, in that passing game. You bring in Dane Key, over 700 yards receiving last year. He was Kentucky's wide receiver 1 last season. This is a legit playmaker on the outside. You bring in Nyziah Hunter, transfer from Cal, true freshman last season, but almost 600 yards receiving. As I said, he's a wide receiver 2. He's a legit playmaker on the outside. So you got two legitimate playmakers on the outside for Nebraska going against this rebuilt secondary for Cincinnati, full of transfers. They bring in and transfer back, backups who were from their former schools. They bring in a backup from Tennessee, looking for an opportunity to start, so they bring him in. They bring in some mid-major corners to come in and start at a P4 school. So this is a patchwork, rebuilt secondary that's going to go against some legit guys. These are some legit dudes on the outside for Nebraska. So I just think this is going to be the biggest X factor in this game for Nebraska is their passing game. I don't think Cincinnati's really going to be able to stop these guys on the outside. And now moving into the X factor for Cincinnati, as I said, I think it's the running game. Tawee Walker, he's at Wisconsin last year. He used to actually play for Oklahoma. He's a good running back, undersized guy, probably about 5'8", 215 pounds. Not a game breaker, but a good running back to plug away. And they've got a good enough offensive line, experienced offensive line against a Nebraska front seven that's probably going to regress. Nebraska was top 15-ish run defense last season. They had lost some big-time players up front. You got to naturally assume there's going to be a regression. The new starters are going to be the backups of last season, so they understand the scheme, they understand the system. It's not like they had to go into the portal and bring anybody in. But that said, should see a natural regression here. If Cincinnati can control the clock and keep Nebraska's passing game on the sideline, Cincinnati may have a shot to win this one. So that's how those are the X factors. Those are the different levers in this game that be pulled by each one of these teams. Now my pick on how I think this game is actually going to play out. Looking at this game, first off, we're talking about neutral site game, but let's be honest, is this really a neutral site? You talk Nebraska, you talking Cincinnati. Who's gonna have fans that are gonna travel in this one? This is gonna be a Nebraska home game. when I said they need Tawee Walker in the running game to keep Nebraska's passing game off the field, I meant it. The problem is I don't think they're going to keep them off the field. I don't think Cincinnati is going to have that much. We're not talking about an elite running game here. Tawee Walker isn't Adrian Peterson, right? So this isn't an elite running game. You're talking about an okay running game going against what could be an okay front seven. Nebraska's going to get stops. The problem is Cincinnati going to get stops? I don't think so. I don't think Cincinnati's getting stops against Dylan Raiola in this passing game. So give me Nebraska. I'm laying the 6.5. I think this is going to be a coming out party for that Nebraska. I almost said Chiefs offense, for that Nebraska offense. Raiola and those wide receivers, I think they're going to be hitting off big plays all game long. Give me Nebraska, covering the 6.5. Should be an easy win for the children of the corn. So anyways, that wraps this up. If you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that, as you're going to see more picks for moving on as we continue through the season. Take care.